The Confederated Salish and Kootenai tribes, along with the FBI and the U.S. Attorney's Office for the District of Montana, announced Thursday the completion of the nation's first Tribal Community Response Plan.
The tragedy of missing and murdered Indigenous people is a harsh reality that Native people face today. Unfortunately, no tribal nation has gone untouched by this crisis.
That is especially clear in the Big Sky State, where, according to the Montana Missing Persons Clearinghouse, 48 of the 166 people missing in Montana are identified as Indigenous. But now this crisis has a plan. Confederated Salish and Kootenai tribal leaders announced the completion of their Tribal Community Response Plan for missing or murdered Indigenous people. Not only is it the first of its kind focusing on MMIP, but it will be used nationwide by tribal communities.
And the public outcry over this issue eventually generated enough attention in the highest levels of government, in Congress and with the Attorney General, to direct U.S. Attorney's offices to consult with tribes and to develop culturally appropriate guidelines for responding to missing and murdered Indigenous person cases.
The plan revolves on the response to a missing person. Once the policy is complete, it will be implemented for tribal and non-tribal members and how agencies can help one another.
We see these guidelines as a way of helping officers and officials in the tribe respond on a moment's notice when the call first comes in.
What's starting from the ground up here in Montana will soon take flight across the United States.
Things that we will learn and implement from the work that the good people here have done can be utilized nationwide.
But the plan doesn't just address the issues in law enforcement response. A new position under the plan hopes to alleviate the stress.
And so this missing persons liaison position we feel is extremely important to keep that family in the loop. It frees up our missing persons investigator to focus solely on the investigation.
CSKT Tribal Council Representative Ellie Bundy says this plan challenges agencies to do more.
I challenge law enforcement agencies to step to the plate, be an active player, realize how critical you are to the success of these efforts.
But for Bundy, the plan adds one of the most critical components of all. It assists communities and law enforcement agencies to remember those who are missing or have been murdered, and it serves as a guideline to the fight for justice.
It's about always remembering why we make the commitment every day to do the work and who we make that commitment for. It's for those who are missing, those who have been murdered, their families who will forever hurt.
The Missing Murdered Indigenous Persons Response Plan will be adopted by the Rocky Boy Chippewa Cree Reservation and will also help other tribal communities form their own response plan. In Kalispell, Jordan Johnson, MTN News.